Welcome back to the Lower School News Show. Hi, my name is Xavier, and here's this week's top stories. Third grader Abbott interviewed his grandmother on Zoom. Let's watch.
Okay, hi, I'm Abbott and I'm in third grade. And this is my grandma, and she's in retired grade, except she was a teacher. And her name is Joyce Ann Healy.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm gonna ask her some questions. Can you describe what school was like when you were a kid?
Well, when I was a kid, school looked pretty much like a classroom would look a lot like a classroom does today, except that we didn't move desks around, so we weren't clustered in groups to work or anything like that. We didn't talk about things like cooperative learning, that we would do things together in projects, but a classroom was usually desks lined up in a row. You sat in your desk and you didn't move out of your desk unless you were given permission. You had to raise your hand if you wanted to answer something or to ask a question. And discipline was a big part of school when I was a kid. I know it's a part of school these days, but it's different. Um, when I was growing up in a classroom, there was such a thing still as corporal punishment, which meant if you really got in trouble, a teacher could hit you on the hands with a ruler. Some of them would do more than that. Now, I was lucky because I was one of those students who tried to follow the rules and pay attention. So that didn't really happen to me, but I saw it happen. But as far as school itself, the subjects that we learned were a lot of the subjects that you learn today. In elementary school, it would have been reading and writing and arithmetic, and there was social studies and civics, spelling, and science, art, music. There was something called penmanship. So we had to learn how to write in cursive. And in today's world, where so much is done with computers, cursive isn't even really recognized a lot. So a lot of students don't really even know what that is. But when you sign your name, not print it, but when you sign your name, that would be an example of cursive writing. Um, there were sports, there was physical education, but it was usually we did not have physical education with the boys. So the girls had phys ed and the boys had phys ed. And at that time, there were very few sports that were open to girls. We played games and we learned certain things about, say, tennis or, those kinds of sports, but there wasn't the same kind of opportunities for girls to be in athletics. So by the time I got to high school, there were some girls who could play basketball, but even in that day and age, the girls were not allowed to play full court basketball. It was only half the court that they could run on because we were so delicate. And we know that's not true anymore. Girls are able to play any kind of sports, which is a wonderful change. Um, there was no computers when I went to school. So if you had a research project, then you would have to go to the library. And if you were very lucky and you were in a family where your parents would buy you an encyclopedia, a set of Encyclopedia Britannica, and they were big books, and there was a whole series of them, and they were alphabetized. So if I say I wanted to look up something about the weather, then I would go to W and in these volumes and look up that information. But there were no computers, there were no cell phones, there were none of those things available. So I think one of the most dramatic differences between when I was in school and now when you're in school is that you have so much information available to you that the key thing is that you have to know what's good information, what's valid information, and where you're getting that information from. We had very limited availability to information, but there were libraries, and so you could go to the library and, you know, do your research that way. We had recess in elementary school. So, and I know you still have recess in elementary
Mr.
school.
Jameer is researching the endangered Siberian tiger. Let's see what he learned.
Hi, my name is Jameer and I'm going to be telling you about Siberian tigers. Siberian tigers are an endangered species, which means they were hunted or they died because of climate change. And because of that, there are only 400 to 500 of them left. They can be seen in Russia's birch woods, North Korea, and China. A fun fact about Siberian tigers is that adults need up to 20 pounds of food a day to survive. You might be seeing Siberian tigers hugging trees to show other tigers that it is their territory. And on average, that they weigh up to 450 pounds, their tails are 3 feet long. Thank you for listening to my Siberian tiger facts. I hope this animal does not go extinct.
Third grader Otilio is interviewing the Park School music teacher, Mr. Peterson. Now let's watch.
Hi, so welcome to the interview. So, my first question for you is, what is it like teaching so many kids at Park? And do you ever get stressed teaching all of them?
So my stress is never in teaching the kids. The kids is the best part of the day. My stresses are, am I going to get to school on time? Am I going to make sure that I pack the lunch? What else? Am I going to get Calliope at the end of the day before she's the last one there? Those are my stresses. My stresses are never the kids. That's the part of the day that's the best part of the day. As for what is it like teaching a bunch of kids, honestly, it's like, it's really great because, so take yourself, for instance. You and I met when you were 5 years old, right? And we have known each other. You're 8 now?
Yes, I'm 8.
So we have known each other when you're 5, 6, 7, 8, and we'll probably know each other when you're 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, right?
Yeah, like if my sister will walk in, she's in 7th grade right now, she'll be like, "Hey, Mr. Chris, what's up?" So
that's
yeah.
right. So like, I feel incredibly lucky that I have the opportunity to like, not just know people, but know them for years and years and years. I never spend as much time with you as your homeroom teacher does, and that's too bad. I get that, but like, you and I are going to have conversations 5 years from now still, and to me that's cool.
What is it like teaching in person? And I really like to know this since I'm in my bedroom right now, so it's kind of hard to know what happened in Park.
So what's it like in person?
Yeah.
In person is fun. It feels like it always did. Being with kids, making music, it feels normal. It feels like we're not in a pandemic. You know what I mean? When I'm with kids, it feels like we're just doing what we always do. With that said, I feel like being distant, is that going to be my next question about what's it like being distant?
I'm not going to tell you.
Okay. So
Thanks for watching. See you next time. Peace.